Hey guys, Blitzbrooks here, and today we're going to be taking a look at these two sets right here. First off, we have the Speed Champions Dodge Charger, and also comparing it to the newest Spider-Man and Ghost Rider vs. Carnage set. These sets are very similar, and I can't wait to take a look at these, so let's just get started. Yeah, so just looking at it here, I think these things are quite similar, but this one right here, the Speed Champion one, definitely has quite a lot more detail here. You can see that at the sides especially. This has somewhat the detail, but definitely just not as much as here, like the curving on the car. I just think Speed Champion cars just do a really good job with their car designs compared to other licenses and stuff like that. So yeah, that is pretty much the front of the car, and let's move up to the top. So the top of the car here, this is actually quite similar too. We're actually using some of the same pieces, like these. Wait, actually no, that's not the same, but it's pretty much the same approach here. You can actually see they're both using this little engine here, but this one really just looks worse in my opinion than this one right here. And obviously this is kind of more designed for display, this one's for play, so that's probably why this one kind of looks worse in my opinion. But here we have our little engine here, and this thing is actually removable on this model. If you wanted to do that, you actually can't do that on here. Well, you can remove it, but there's actually no thing to replace it with. You can see they had two different approaches here that they did, and in my opinion this one is a lot better. Just something else to note about this model compared to this one is you can actually take something out here, actually replace it with this piece right here. And yeah, that's basically what it looks like without the engine right here. You can actually remove it and then put flat tiling, but honestly, just for this review, we're just gonna keep it like this. But moving on to the top, this is kind of where it gets interesting, because these are actually the same pieces in the same colors that they're using here. Just look at that. This piece for the passenger seat here is the exact same design, like right here. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but also it's like, what else would you use? But it's just ridiculous how they're using the same design here. You can see that all across the back, but first, before we get there, we're going to take a look at the sides. So now that I've removed all the fire pieces on this car here, it honestly looks so much like this one over here. And I just find that so ridiculous, but yeah, here we have the rims of the car, and they're actually the same ones on this design right here. You can see, actually, there's a bit of a height difference you can see in the cars. I believe this one's just a smidge taller. You can't really see it like that, but if I just compare them like this, well, actually, no, this one's taller. That's kind of interesting to me. I guess the slant of the car, like you can see that this has a little slant there compared to this one, which is just straight. But yeah, at the sides there's a lot of the same pieces. We have somewhat of the same curve here, but this one's obviously a lot more smooth there. Honestly, I prefer this side on this car way better compared to this one, but I think it still looks decent for what it is. But yeah, so at the back, there's also a lot of similarities here. You can actually see a lot of them. Here at the back, where we have our trunk, or I guess where our trunk would be, this actually uses the same plate here as this one right here. And I think that's just so ridiculous to me. Like, look at that. You can see it's a 1x6, and also the same 1x6 on here. We're also using the same cheese slope, or whatever these are called, on this car. And look at that, that's the same design. Especially with that cheese slope there. They just exactly copied the back of the car here, and I guess it just looked really good, so I just thought it would be a good idea to copy it, but I just think that's just ridiculous. Also, going back to the suspension difference, you can actually see this thing is a lot taller here. You can see here, look at that. I think that's about maybe like 2 plates higher That's just a really ridiculous height right there, just compared to it. Like, obviously, I think this back is a lot better right here compared to this one. You can just see it. I don't know, it's not my favorite. And then lastly, with our car right here, we're just going to take a look at the bottom. You can also see a bit of the same design, especially with some of these same pieces on both of these here. But to be honest, there's not that much at the bottom. Like, you can see these designs go from both right here, but honestly, there's not that much. So yeah, that's basically what's with both of these cars. And now we're actually going to be taking a look at the figures which come in both of these sets, and some of the side builds that you actually have to consider if you want to get this one over the other. So now taking a look at both of the figures of both of these sets. Honestly, I think there's no real comparison. Obviously, these ones right here are much better than the city ones. Like, just look at all those designs. Like, if you're a Marvel fan, you'll definitely like some of these figures here. But if you're actually not, maybe you should get this one, because it actually has a, in my opinion, much better designed car. So yeah, that's basically the figures. Let's move on to some of these side builds. I think this is a big thing to consider right here, because this set not only includes this car right here, which looks a lot like the Ghost Rider car, but it also includes the Dodge Challenger from 2018 here. And this is one of my favorite Speed Champion cars, other than this one. I also do include this thing, which if you have a racetrack, I guess that's good, but either way, I think this is just a thing that just ends up in a bin somewhere. But yeah, that's pretty much what we have in this set. I just wanted to show you guys, just in case you guys are getting one of these sets. So that is pretty much all the stuff that's included in both of the sets. These things look really similar, and now I'm just going to give my final thoughts. So in my opinion, if you want one of these sets over the other, if you're going for the figures, if you want those Marvel figures, especially Carnage and Spider-Man and the new Ghost Rider, I would definitely go for this set. This one is actually a lot cheaper to get, so that really goes in the consideration of buying this set. So yeah, that's just one thing. If you want the figures and stuff like that, I would definitely go for this set. But if you want something actually in your city, I would probably go for this one right here, because it does include the other Speed Champions car, which is the Dodge Challenger. And honestly, it just looks really good compared to this one. Just looking at them, I think the front is so much better, the engine is better, and especially that black there, that's not included on this one. Just all the different things on this car just look really good. And honestly, in my opinion, the suspension on this one isn't really my favorite. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. I just want to say that if you haven't already checked out my Discord, that would be awesome, because I love getting new members on there. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much the end of today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye.